Everybody, here looking at two computers I've recently acquired. I did not get these from the Grid store or Computer Works store. I got these straight from their previous owner. Bought both these computers off of the same owner for 20 bucks a piece. Pretty decent deal. One is the eMachines, one is HP. I'll be refurbishing the eMachines and I'll be using the HP for parts. I'll explain why in a moment. I'm going to start by looking at this eMachine system. It is a T3642. The only thing that has been changed on it is the memory. The system came originally with 1 gig of DDR2 dual channel, so two 512 megabyte sticks. The owner stuck in, or somebody had installed a 1 gigabyte single stick and left one of the 512s in there, giving it 1.5 gigs. Has an Athlon 64 processor, 4000 plus. It's likely a single core. DVD burner, 250 gig hard drive, and 15-in-1 card reader. I've went ahead and pulled the side panel off because I was getting ready to show you the inside. And I decided to restart the video. There's DVD burner, card reader, USB ports, audio jacks, all that stuff. Now here's a look inside this one. This will actually be the second time I've acquired one of these. There it is right there. Yeah, it's been my second time acquiring one just like this. The previous one I had was from the Computer Works store. It had a dead power supply. That was a Delta. Now, I still have it. One of these days I might try to fix it or figure out what's wrong with it. This one, however, has the Bestech HCX 312E unit. I don't see these fail a lot. Usually these are pretty reliable. And trust me, these are not the motherboard killers. That is the 25012E that's motherboard killer. This one has the correct improvements, including the IC design file standby rail. And I must say, eMachines has definitely changed since, you know, Acer has acquired them. For those who didn't know, let's see, Gateway and eMachines are part of Acer now. And I can tell this was a post-Acer buyout build, because almost every Acer I see with the Athlon 64 processor has a very, I won't say it's a very bad quality heatsink, it's just not all that great. I mean, I've seen much better in like HPs and stuff like that. So anyways, here's a look at the back. Here's back a power supply. Motherboard I/O. For some reason the modem was pulled from this one, I don't know why. There's where a hard drive used to be installed. I do have the hard drives to these though. This one had a 250 gig Seagate. This one had a 200 gigabyte Samsung. I still gotta get the data off of those. But anyways, get you a good look at this thing. If I mentioned already, the previous owner took out one of the 512 sticks and stuck in a 1 gig. I'm going to take that 512 stick out and put a 1 gig stick in there to give it 2 gigs total. And just simply put in a hard disk drive. I may just put in one of my white label 160s and save that 250 for a better system. And just simply refurbish this thing and, you know, go on. Or I might put the 250 in there, I'm not 100% sure yet. But I will be refurbishing this one. So let's go ahead and plug up and test it. And from my understanding, both of these systems still work. Yeah, they still work just fine. And plug everything up here. And I'll do the typical affair as I always do with my you know, part system videos. I'll show you the BIOS setup utility. Have a listen to this, guys. Did you hear that? I think we got some bad caps in that power supply. Listen to that. I'll definitely have to crack that power supply open in a later video. So let's go ahead and just grab the other power supply I used to test these things with. Hopefully I didn't jinx myself by just saying that these 312Es are, you know, reliable, because generally they are. This will be the first time I say one fail. It's probably just simply a capacitor problem. Probably a couple of bad caps on the final standby rail. Just add to the list of power supplies I need to recap. So anyways, we'll go ahead and plug up this one here. So that way we can test this system and be on our way. I think I may just go ahead and install a 25012Z that I have laying around. I have a few of those laying around. Believe it or not, these systems here will run on 250 watts just fine. Yes, I'll be sure to do a follow-up video of that power supply. Now, see if our motherboard's good. I just told you guys that the 312E has a IC 5-volt standby rail, so if the caps fail, it shouldn't affect it. It shouldn't cause it to take out your motherboard. Just going to plug up everything here. That plug does not want to come out. Go ahead and test the system. No problems there. So let's have a quick look here at the system BIOS. Let's keep in time. Pretty basic BIOS. Ah, look here. It actually has RAID. System actually has RAID. Now it's funny that the sticker on this machine said it had a GeForce 6100 chipset. By looking at the board, it appears to have a 6150 SE. Again, pretty basic other than having that RAID support. Look at the PC health status. You can customize the smart fan on this one. That's something I like to see. Here's a look at the temperatures and voltages. So anyways, I guess that means we can have a look at the HP. Okay everybody, before moving on to the HP, I have spotted a problem with this Bestech power supply. There is a failed TPO capacitor in there. I don't know if you can see it or not, probably can't. It's kind of hard to spot. You can see just a little bit of it right there. You might be able to see the top of the screen. Yeah, it's bulging. Now to explain the problem, so anyways, going to move on to the HP. Okay everybody, here's a look at the HP. It's a Pavilion A1423W. I believe it's in stock condition. It too has a DVD writer, light scribe writer, but also a DVD-ROM drive. Not bad. There's a motherboard. Looks to be made by ECS. System has a Pentium D processor and a gig of RAM. One spot is used. There's another slot available. I'll just stick another gig in there and it'll be done. Good to go. Not sure what Pentium D this has, but I know it does have one, and you can tell just from looking at the heatsink it's got a Pentium D. I mean, when you have a heat pipe cooler like this, which, yeah, it's a heat pipe cooler, it's because the Pentium D is such a hot running CPU. It's good to have that heat pipe cooler there to keep it nice and cool. There's the power supply. It's a Hypro HP-D3057F3R. These are infamous for a capacitor failure on the secondary side. However, these units just seem to keep on working even though the caps fail. These are actually very well built power supplies other than the caps. These are stickered to be 300 watts, but they're actually well capable of doing 350 watts just fine. A review on Hardware Insights load tested one of these and easily got 350 watts out of it, no problem. Anyways, here's a look at the back I/O. Good audio on board. Firewire, Ethernet, 4 USBs. Your VGA out. Your digital audio, and S-video, PS2 ports, all that good stuff. Back in the power supply. Yeah, let's see if this in here works without having to use a different power supply or whatever. This system originally came with Windows XP, Media Center 05, just so you know. Like anybody really cares about XP anymore. Well, I know some of you guys like it. It was great back in this day, but anyways. Computer's eager to start on its own for me. And open the DVD drive for me. Try to get into the SEP utility here. I have no idea what that was all about. See if there's any disc in here, which there's not. It's your card reader, audio jacks, Firewire, USB. This is definitely a nice machine back in its day. I'm sure somebody probably paid a pretty penny for it back in, I guess, 2005. 2006. Yeah, 2006 definitely, because it has the Vista capable sticker on the front. So anyways, we're going to look at the BIOS. AMI BIOS. Monitor's not liking it for some reason. Like everything's a little squiggly. Probably doesn't like the refresh rate. Here's the advanced. Believe it's a Pentium D820. I want to say I'm not 100% sure. I don't really know for sure. It just says Pentium D 2.8 gig. Without a doubt, still a nice processor. Hot running CPU. Not necessarily right now, it's at 39 degrees C, but that's because it's got a really good cooler slapped on it. Boot settings. BIOS is a little bit more basic on this one versus the other one. I don't think this one has RAID like the previous one did. Currently has a gig of RAM installed. System is keeping time. Saying we're replacing the battery. Now I mentioned I'm going to be using this particular system for parts. And that's because I got an Acer in for service that needs a motherboard. And it's a Pentium D system. So I figured I just can easily swap motherboards and probably be done. And I just use, the rest of this thing for parts. So anyways, this one here plugged up and worked just fine. The eMachine definitely is going to need its power supply fixed. Which I think just a few caps replaced would fix that. No problem. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this kind of brief, I don't know if you call it brief or not, overview of 2 computers I've recently acquired. Any questions or comments? Feel free to ask, and thanks for watching.